If you haven't heard about this story, hold on to your seats for this one. It's not easy to discuss, but we need to talk about it because more people need to know about what happened to Jaheim McMillan. Now, Jaheim McMillan, 15-year-old boy. He's a boy. And he was killed by the police. Now, I want to read to you the perspective from the police first, and then I want you to hear the perspective that comes from Olamide, I was saying her name wrong, Olamide Lauren, and the witness who was actually there. Because the family is demanding that the police department release the body cam footage, which they have not. And also that Family Dollar store where he was shot at by the police to also release their footage. And if they don't want to release it, what are they trying to hide? So this is the account that comes from the police. Family of teen killed by police deny claim he was armed. Now that's what the family was saying. And you'll see them here with the signs that say justice for Jaheim. Please, the video. So they're asking for the video. The shooting of a black teenager by police in Gulfport, Mississippi has led to outcry from family members and activists who say the teen was unarmed with his hands up when he was confronted by the police. The teen died days later after being taken off life support. Now, remember these details here because the second version that you're going to hear of this is going to be a little bit different than what you hear here. Police say 15-year-old Jaheim McMillan was armed and refused to drop his weapon when officers fired at him following a foot chase. The hashtag Justice for Jaheim has been trending on social media, with some posting photos of the teen bleeding out while handcuffed on the ground. During the October 6th incident, officers responded to a 911 call about 5 teens waving firearms at passing cars and began chasing one of them. Now, that's according to the police chief. Just remember who this is coming from. The police chief told reporters that one officer observed McMillan was armed and gave orders for him to stop and drop his weapon. So he goes on to say McMillan did not comply. He also claimed that McMillan turned his body and weapon towards the officer. So the officer fired at him. Deborah Stout, she's one of the witnesses, said that she saw McMillan with his hands up. She says she was waiting outside her home for a phone call when she heard the gunshots. Now, you'll hear about that in that clip, so I don't want to go too much into that because I want you to see that from that clip. He goes on to say, family members disagreed with the police. That's the police chief Cooper's claims that Jaheim was armed. If Gulfport Police Department had footage of my little cousin holding a gun, best believe it would have already been released. Now, that's coming from one of the family members. A spokesperson for the Gulfport Police Department declined to comment. Family members of McMillan did not immediately respond to ABC News requests for comment. The Mississippi Attorney General's office has jurisdiction on cases where officers use deadly force. Cooper said during the press conference, he goes on to say the police department is cooperating fully with the AG's investigation and will conduct an internal investigation. Family members also claimed in the Facebook video they were initially barred from entering a hospital in Mobile, Alabama, where the teenager was airlifted following the shooting. The hospital, USA Children and Women's Hospital, did not immediately respond to a request for comment from ABC News. So this was another issue where the family members were trying to visit him in the hospital, and they were told that the hospital told them that they could not come in. The family obtained civil rights attorney Ben Crump to represent them Thursday. Crump released the following statement. This child had his whole life ahead of him, but bullets from those officers took all possibility of that away in an instant. While much remains unknown about this case, We fully intend to put pressure on officials in Mississippi until this family gets the answers they need to and deserve. We are calling for officials to release any and all video footage of the incident so that we can see with our own eyes what transpired that night. Now, notice there's a lot missing. It tells you that the police officer shot him. Doesn't tell you where they shot him. And that part is going to be very telling when you hear this part of the story. Because it doesn't tell you also other things that transpired that day. Now, Olami, this is her wheelhouse. This is what she does, right? She's a public defender. She talks about policing a lot. She posted this on Twitter. And I want you to hear the other version of this story. Because if you haven't heard this, when you hear about where they actually shot him, you might be appalled. So get ready for this. This is the account from Olami. Listen to this.
I hate to come here and tell you what happened to a 15-year-old black boy named Jaheim McMillan on October 6th, but I have to, because not only is it shameful the way that the police in this country treats black people, but the way that the media and social media are co-conspirators in keeping the messages suppressed, because this child was not only killed on October 6th by Mississippi police, but since then, all the eyewitnesses, his mother, his sister, his family members have had their Facebook accounts restricted so that they can't tell the story. But on October 6th, Jaheim...
Did you hear that part? Even social media is preventing them from telling their version of the story. That's Facebook. This goes back to the censorship too. So you see, it's not just Mark Zuckerberg trying to censor information about Hunter Biden's laptop. It's also Mark Zuckerberg's company trying to censor information about policing.
McMillan, a 15-year-old, went to his Family Dollar down the block from his own house. He walked out. Multiple eyewitnesses have said this. He walked out of the Family Dollar with his hands up when he saw the police. Hands up, nothing in his hands. And they shot that 15-year-old boy in the head and left his body there and handcuffed him. And then when his mother came to the scene, they tried to handcuff his own mother.
They shot him in the head. They shot him in the head. Now, typically, when police officers are shooting a suspect, they aim for the middle of your body, not for your head. So if they shot him in the head, they shot him with the intent to kill. 15 years old. And then they handcuffed his body. They handcuffed him after they shot him in the head. Notice that article that I just read you didn't mention that. I'm pretty sure that's not police protocol to aim for the head.
They shot that child 8 times. 8 times they shot that child. And then when he was put on life support, his mother says that he was removed off of life support without his mother's permission. They shot and killed her child and they took him off of life support.
So this is another piece that was not mentioned in that article. The article mentions that the family tried to visit him in the hospital and they were told they could not enter. The article mentions that he was on life support and then taken off of life support. But the article doesn't tell you that he was taken off of life support without his mother's permission. I think that's an important part of the story, don't you? And that would also explain why they didn't want them to come into the hospital. This is murder. That is absolutely, there's no, you can't defend that.
And now they're saying that he was armed, despite the fact that multiple eyewitnesses says he was not. Now, conveniently, the Family Dollar that had video footage, had video security footage of what happened, it's gone. Conveniently just erased. And they have...
Well, did you hear that part? All of a sudden, the video footage is gone.
Saying that he was armed, despite the fact that multiple eyewitnesses says he was not. Now, conveniently, the Family Dollar that had video footage, had video security footage of what happened, it's gone. Conveniently just erased. And they haven't released out the body-worn camera footage, and they seem to be refusing to. I just want to give you a warning before this rolls into the next video clip of...
Yes, warning to all of you.
His mother crying, because you need to understand, for context, not only does this woman have to bury her 15-year-old son, but you need to understand that they killed him so close to her house she was able to run down the street where her son was still dead on the floor and handcuffed.
Imagine someone, police officer, shoots your child. I don't know how many of you in the chat have kids, but they shoot your child in the head. And that's with intent to kill. Police are supposed to de-escalate the situation, which they obviously do not escalate the situation. A 15-year-old boy. And I bring this up because of this. I want to keep saying his age. I want to keep saying 15 years old. And the reason being is because oftentimes, especially police officers, people see black men, young black boys, and they see a grown man. And when they see a grown man, a grown black man, they see them as a threat, whether they are or not. There was a question once on Facebook. I'll never forget this. Someone was posting another police brutality video, and they asked the question, why is it that a lot of times white people have no problem with black boys when they're little, when they're toddlers, when they're like 5 years old, when they're like 6 years old? They see them as kids. They have no problem with, they don't have that fear. And they went on to ask this question: when is it do you stop and decide that I am now going to be afraid of black men? There was a woman, it was a long thread, but there was a woman that responded. I'll never forget her response. She said at age 12. Just boldly. At age 12, that's when she considers black boys to be a threat.
Did you try to shoot him more than one time?
Yes, Bryce.
Understand understand that I wouldn't even share the video if it wasn't for the fact that his mother has asked that people make this video, that people be aware of her pain and what happened,
Yep.
because the story is being suppressed.
And that's the only reason why I'm showing that part too, because I want you to, because of the fact that she wants people to see that. A lot of times I think people see Black people, particularly, especially Black women, and they think that we don't feel pain or we don't have like emotion or whatever, like that kind of thing. And that's not true. And people seem to have less empathy because they believe that. They believe that we don't feel pain.
Her Facebook account is restricted, so she isn't able to tell the story herself. The same has happened to the other members of her family. So that's why I'm sharing it.
So you say you saw what happened?
So this is a witness here, and I want you to hear what she says.
Saw the cop shoot the guy.
Did he have a gun on him?
I did not see a gun on him.
And the baby was coming out the store. Jaheim was coming out the store.
He was coming out of the store with his
And my
hands
other
up.
son, with his hands up?
With his hands up.
Was he asked for his hands to go up?
Pardon me?
Was he asked to put his hands up?
I did not hear that. I had just pulled in and I saw it happen. I'm having PSTD or whatever you call it, but
PTSD.
yes.
So this woman was a witness and noticed that she said that he had his hands up and he did not have a gun. This is an eyewitness account. Sounds a little bit different than the story that the police gave, right? Of course. The police department is going to protect itself, not the person that they killed. And she still has PTSD from this right now because, you know, I who wouldn't after seeing that?
Okay.
Do you mind sharing your name?
Pardon me?
Do you
What is
mind
your
sharing
name?
Your name?
My name's Deborah Stout.
Deborah
I don't mind.
Stone?
I don't. Stout.
Stout, Miss Deborah Stout.
Yeah, I talked to, I think, his niece. She was here. She had braids on. And I followed her home because she had a little boy at home.
Okay.
And just to make sure she was home. But yeah, I did see it.
We thank you so
And I'm
much.
so sorry. I will pray. I will pray for y'all.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And she
And dude, can we get your phone number? You can write that down. I'm not going to record that.
Sure.
Man, look at the little man up there on the ground, man.
Now, this is outside the Family Dollar. Now, this is where this all took place.
By the door, man. The police over there shot the motherfucking child, man. Child had nothing in their hand, man. What type of shit it did, man? What type of shit it did, man?
Nothing, bro.
Man, look, I shot the man in the head,
They
man.
shot him in the head, bro. I'm sitting there
Man.
just watching them.
The kid
I'm
they
talking
had
about
nothing
6
in his
times,
head,
bro.
man.
6 times.
This what the fuck these police out here doing, man. Y'all out here letting these kids run these streets, and this what the fuck going on, man. These motherfucking police doing this shit, man.
That's so sad, man. Then they gonna handcuff him, bro.
Then still got him handcuffed
They
right now.
handcuffed him.
Got the man handcuffed right now, man.
So they're saying the same thing. He had nothing in his hand. Just shot a kid in the face. By the way, who's reporting this on corporate media? Who's reporting this? Someone just asked me that question. Omar, not hearing about this story on garbage corporate media. I didn't hear about it on corporate media either. Didn't hear about it either. Had it not been for Olimi, like that was where I first heard about it. And then I had to search for it. Omar, no one else is talking about this story besides RBN. Why is that? People have gotten, we've been paying attention. We noticed like a lot of the people who were doing this coverage and these stories about George Floyd, because that was very popular and that was trending at the time. They've been really silent on police issues and police brutality issues that have happened after that. Not even a word.
Man, what type of shit it is, bro? Hey, ma'am, come on. He coming.
I ain't gonna get shot.
He ran from that car there where they were, ran this way. And he ran there when he threw his hands up like this here.
Man.
The man shot him.
The shit fucked up.
Yes.
So you have multiple witnesses, not just the woman who was in the car who said she pulled up at the time. There are multiple witnesses that saw this.
Yeah.
What's up, bro? Yeah, they shot by 8 times. Cause I heard it over there. I heard it right over there, and I'm like, what the fuck? But I'm still seeing the traffic going. Hello. Man, bro, the police just shot a little dude over here at Family Dollar, man.
Yeah, they shot him.
Yeah. And then they got the man handcuffed over here, man. They done shot the man.
They shot that man for nothing.
Yeah. Man, I don't know.
Shot that man for nothing. Y'all ain't shit, bro.
Shit, y'all can't get mad for something y'all fucked up on. Y'all can't get mad for something y'all fucked up on. Yeah.
Look, I had to pause this here because I want to point out something to you, right? You see this police officer right here, where I'm drawing a kind of a circle around him? Notice that's a black police officer, right? You see that, right? And this is what I've said before. Black police officers are blue first and black second. They will still back the police department, even when cases like this.
Y'all need to be getting on the one who shot that little boy. That's what y'all need to be doing. Hello? Hey, look, don't touch that man, bro.
Oh, wait
Hello?
a minute. Wait a minute. He may not be black after all, but the point still stands. And look at the aggression now. Look at the aggression already.
Hey, look, let me call you back. Let me call you back.
What's up, man?
I ain't talking to you.
Okay, back up then.
I ain't in your yelling.
And let's stop calling the media complicit. They're not complicit. They're co-conspirators. Because the police narrative that the media has taken it upon themselves to not only parrot back to us, but to treat as fact is that he was armed and went to this store and was waving his gun at people. But the store manager of his local convenience store where he regularly frequents says that is not what happened. But that story's not getting out. Just like his mother and all of the eyewitnesses' stories are not getting out. Just like you haven't heard about this. Because
See, you heard that? The store manager said that did not happen, that he was not in the store waving his gun around. So once again, we have another case where the police officers, the police department has made up a story. Where have we seen that before? You mean to tell me this 15-year-old little boy came into a Family Dollar, just started waving his gun around and nobody tried to run out of the store? Nobody saw that, including the store manager?
that's what they do. They allow police to kill people with impunity and then they cover it the fuck up.
That's right. That's right. Guys, make sure you follow Olamide on Twitter because that's her thing, is like police brutality. She's a public defender. So she talks about this a lot. You can follow her on Twitter at M.
I hate to come here and tell you what happened to a 15-year-old black boy named Jaheim McMillan on.
I'm sorry, it started playing again. Follow her at M S O'Lauren on Twitter. Because honestly, I have to tell you guys, I did not see this on corporate media. Maybe it's out now, but it wasn't at the time when I saw this. Now, if you want to help the family, you can. They do have a GoFundMe here. And this is Jaheim here. Like I said, a 15-year-old boy. Hashtag justice for Jaheim. Their goal is to raise $30,000. It looks like they've raised over $9,940 now. Obviously, you guys know what is going to come along with this is going to be funeral expenses that they may or may not be able to afford. Funeral expenses can be expensive. So please help out the family the best way possible. They're going to need some type of legal protection as well. It looks like they may have a lawsuit here. So if you can donate, please do so. But we have to do something about the police state. And I have another story tomorrow night about the police state too, where they really have gone rambunctious. And I want you to know, when you look at this little boy's face, see this little boy right here, 15 years old, I want you to remember who's funding the police. I want you to remember that your president, Mr. Joe Biden, is giving the police more money. They're complicit. Complicit. I'm going to go to some of the comments. Nicole, I have children. Youngest is 25. I would burn this world down if he was murdered like that. Painful experience. Bad cookies. That boy died before ever confessing his feelings to the girl he was crushing on. That boy will never go to prom. He will never have a child of his own. That is the crime here, not the kid. That's right. They just took his future from him. And someone really, you know, they got the lawyer to help them, but they need to investigate with the hospital as well. Because this idea that the hospital took him off of life support without the approval of the family, that's suspect. I don't even think that's legal. I don't think it is. Send the text says looks younger than 15. Yeah, he looks like a baby. A baby.